Are capitals a relic of a bygone era? Well, good question. Some people will tell you yes, but are they actually? Are carriers and super carriers really useless? Well, the obvious answer is no. But why that is the case, I will explain to you in detail in this video. So go ahead and watch this video if you want to find out why supers and carriers are not useless even though they got hit with the nerf hammer quite significantly, and why dreadnoughts are hands down the best capitals. But playing alone in EVE sucks. So if you want to take part in an awesome community, fly fun ships, make some dank ISK and have genuinely a good time, with constantly people around you to hang out with. So come and join Suspect today and fight under the banner of our great supreme leader, me. So come and join our Discord today. Anyway, on with the video. So let's imagine this. You run a small corporation, a wormhole, and you just want to live in peace. Just you and your 7 friends. It is barely more than a handful of people, but it's still quite a few. But one day you wake up and there's 2 huge-ass dreadnoughts sitting on your doorstep shooting at your structure. Obviously, you didn't invest in capitals. Capitals are pointless and a relic of a bygone era. Those 11,000 DPS coming from an anti-capital dreadnought, or close to 5,000 coming from a horde dreadnought, are just a byproduct of your fantasy, right? Your paladins can surely... oh dear. Your paladins just got one-shot because they went bastion mode. Let's bring some battle cruisers. Oh no, the second dread is hitting them with its smaller guns. What can you do? What can you do? This is the whole point. Capitals are not a relic of a bygone era. If they were, no one would use them. But capitals are widely used, less for PvE nowadays, especially because of their massive cost compared to income generated. But a group owning a fleet of capitals will always beat a group which does not own any capitals, as long as both groups are similar in skill set and resources. Even when outnumbered, bringing a dreadnought or fact can be a huge change in balance. Capitals are an escalation and a force multiplier. They are ships that are hard to remove from the grid once dropped. And using a single fact, one side can potentially turn an entire fight in their favor. Not to mention the force of 40 carriers or 20 super carriers can basically end any fight that might have existed beforehand, because 99% of your enemies will not be able to deal with that, as long as you have a friendly subcap fleet existing as well. Not to mention that you can also just throw in a few factors with support on top of that. Looking at the stats of capital ships, it kinda tells it all. Dreadnoughts can have extremely good buffer for their cost, or an insane repair rate and be a good gun platform similar to Marauders. But they deal a lot more damage. An active revelation will deal 11k DPS in an anti-capital configuration, almost 4000 DPS in a horde configuration. Faxes can reach an active remote repair rate equal to 15 guardians, Tech 2 logistic cruisers, and carriers are essentially oversized drone boats which fighters don't hit shit unless the targets are webbed. Does that mean they are bad? I mean, webs are essential in combat, so it isn't like you don't have them. And they can unengage at any point, so that's kinda cool. They don't use siege. There's a huge benefit. Most capitals are quite frankly amazing in what they do, and rightfully so, taking into account the ISK investment, the housing cost, and the fact that you need a whole full fleet working with them to use their full potential. They are more or less the magnum opus in their role. So why exactly do you not see more capitals then? Carriers still make very decent ISK per hour and are very much basically on par with Marauders at being able to warp out at any point. Dreads can do solo crab beacons, which also, as long as you have the capabilities to save them if they are tackled, make insane ISK per hour at up to 1 billion ISK per hour on average, as long as you manage to do 2 per hour. But there's an issue. The time invested to actually make back the ISK first invested to those capitals is huge. Marauders are cheap, carriers are not. You can get a ratting Marauder for roughly 1.5 billion or less. A carrier will set you back 4 to 5 billion easily. Capitals are expensive. They have gone very expensive since last year, and super capitals specifically are, for most players, essentially unaffordable ever. A fitted dreadnought costs about 6 billion ISK, a super carrier costs 60 billion fitted, and a titan can cost you up to 200 billion fitted after build cost. Those are numbers that most players cannot achieve easily. Let's face it, if you want 200 billion, what are you gonna do? Industry is gonna take forever to make that kind of money, and that money is mostly stocked up in your investments. And if you do ratting mining, you will be sitting there for a very long time. Not to mention that out of all capitals, titans are the least useful, as they only really shine in large numbers, thanks to having insane buffer. I guess okay, DPS and the Doomsday that one-shots capitals, we have a certain number of them. But faction dreadnoughts really are kinda outshining them right now. Basically, CCP tried to turn back the clock and return capitals to being corporation alliance assets While they were massively proliferated and some groups now have massive stockpiles while other groups, specifically new groups, struggle to compete at all. Does it mean it is impossible? No. Should CCP look into it though? Yes, absolutely. Short answer to this question: yes, capitals are useful in PvE and PvP, and the main reason people don't use them is not because they are bad, it is because there's cheaper alternatives. However, it does not mean capitals will be phased out, at least not in the current meta, simply because in PvP they are such a massive force multiplier that not having them is really a massive handicap. What about you? Do you like capitals? Do you use them? What is your favorite capital ship or experience using them? Go ahead and tell me in the comments of this video. I personally love my capitals, I use them a lot, I did some silly stuff too, and so far got away quite handily with using them. Not to mention one of my members is the #1 all-time Nagelfar fleet issue pilot after going solo roaming with it for quite a while. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you want to directly support me, you can by checking out my Patreon. Just remember, you don't have to. This is all from me, see you guys next time.